Ernie Eugene Barnes Jr. was born in Durham, North Carolina on July 15, 1938. The country was recovering from the Depression, but the war was still looming in Europe. Race relationships were unstable, and there were still laws that mandated the segregations between blacks and whites. Barnes' mother initiated his exposure to world culture by taking Ernie to the house where she worked as a domestic to meet her employer, Frank Fuller Jr., a wealthy attorney. There he was introduced to familiar works from such masters Rubens, Michelangelo's, just to name a few. He was bullied as a kid and beat up oftentimes because he was fat and unathletic. But by his senior year, he became the captain of his football team and had 26 athletic scholarships. Barnes attended the College of North Carolina Central University, where he pursued a degree in arts. In 1959, Barnes' career in football took off and he was the 10th round pick for the Colts. During his football career, he played with the Colts, Chargers, and Broncos. He played in the NFL for a total of 6 years until an injury took place and he retired. This is where Barnes began transferring his visual and emotional experiences on the football field into canvases.
Subjects that he would paint about were things that he personally enjoyed or he related to on a daily basis, such as African American culture, figurative human figures, human activities, sport figures, or sporting events such as the Olympics. The medium that he would primarily use was acrylic paint, charcoal, oil on canvas, and watercolor. The styles in which Barnes portrays in his paintings are very abstract and full of expression. Barnes stated that he began distorting and elongating the proportions, trying to relate to what it felt like within the context of certain movements. This characteristic came to be known as neo-mannerism.
The painting that made Ernie Barnes most famous is The Sugar Shack, which was oil on canvas created in 1976. It was not famous until shown on the sitcom Good Times. The Sugar Shack also made an appearance on Marvin Gaye's album I Want You.
As you can see in the top right corner of the painting, Barnes added a banner stating that Marvin Gaye was going to be in this electrifying club that he had created. Barnes also painted a banner in the right-hand corner about his hometown radio station called WSRC. He created the painting from his experience during his childhood. He was not allowed to dance, so this was his wishful thinking coming to life.
Barnes stated, "It was the first time my innocence met the sins of dancing. The painting transmits rhythm, so the experience is recreated in a person viewing it. It shows that African Americans utilize rhythm as a way of resolving physical tension."
Barnes was praised continuously for his ability to freeze frame an emotion. This talent led him to be labeled as a master of analyzed movement. Barnes was the official artist for the 1984 Olympics held in Los Angeles.
Paintings such as the Olympic boxing, Olympic gymnast, neighborhood games, and others are just a few of the paintings that were painted in the Olympics. He later became known as the recipient of the 1984 and 2004 Sport Artist of the Year Award, presented annually by the American Sport Art Museum and Archives.
And let me tell you, Angel, that's a great accomplishment.
Barnes said, "Sports are much more than just sporting events. They can be applied to our lives as a spiritual celebration, and this is what I hope to convey in my paintings." His characteristics depiction of human anatomy using elongation and distortion, and his origination of the analyzed moment to portray athletes in delayed motion, Ernie Barnes has given sports fans everywhere a window into a agony and ecstasy, as well as the hopes of dreams and the quest for physical greatness. The last painting that we want to mention is The Dream Unfolds, which was made in the year 1996. The medium was acrylic on canvas, and the size was 60 inches by 40 inches.
As we already know, sports was one of the main themes that Barnes used to show the elongations of figures as well as the beauty of sports.
This painting illustrates a group of men, different ethnicities, playing the game of basketball.
Although the painting was done in 1996, you can see that Barnes hasn't left his roots. The court and scenery that is depicted in the bottom is still much like how he would have remembered it as a young boy.
As you start drawing your attention upward, you can see angels and all ethnicities around the world cheering as a man lays up the ball.
And as you can see, Angel, it is held by an angel.
That's right. And as you can see, in the top center of the painting, there is also an NBA symbol.
All around the world, the NBA is viewed as the highest point in basketball. Since Barnes is athletic, this seems like a very good way for him to portray his feelings about races and dreams.
What I believe that the artist is trying to portray in this painting is that all the dreams that we have, regardless of our color, can come true. Sadly, in April 27, 2009, ErnieBarnes passed away, but he will always be considered one of the leading African American painters of his time.